excited for this one. This is the first ever live specials that we're introducing for the first time ever. And this is called the Money Vault Fridays. What are we doing here, Brian? We're going to talk everything about money, real estate market.
Everything. Unlocking the power of your dollar.
Oof. Business, finance, entrepreneurship.
Everything under the sun. Wealth
management. Guys, we thought this was important, especially during a major shift that we're going where?
With the economy, right?
With the economy. The economy is making a huge shift right now, and I think it's important that everybody stays educated. And we want to bring you guys leaders, resources from these leaders from different industries in the money industry, in the wealth industry. And this is why we decided to start Money Vault Fridays on the Sweat It Out podcast.
Oh, yeah.
How excited are you, bro?
Man, I'm excited. I want to change some lives and open up eyes of those who haven't seen the power of building wealth.
That's right. And I think that, we're going to be able to bring some really cool individuals on that can really shine some light on a lot of people, in our audience who are looking to start a business or have a business or just need fixtures in their own personal life, who need to learn how to handle money, manage money, right? Mm-hmm. And I think today I want to talk a little bit about, making money, moving your money, and growing your money. Mm-hmm. So let's dive into that a little bit about making money, moving your money, and growing your money.
And, there's a lot of different ways that you can do that. First, you got to build up that income. So before you can even start investing, start moving your money around, you got to start asking yourself, how am I going to increase my income? How am I going to elevate where I'm currently at? And once you ask yourself that, and you're at a position where you can invest, there's a lot of different options where you can put your money into. You can put it into real estate. You can open up a stock brokerage account. You can open up a Roth IRA. So there's a lot of different options. And even if you're working for somebody, you still have those opportunities. There's 401ks. There's different plans that you can get into.
Oh, yeah. And here's the thing, right? When you're looking to make money, right? Let's say, for example, you're starting your own thing, right? It's important that, and they say that saying, oh, you need money to make money, right? So here's the thing. A lot of times, people will be scared to invest in themselves, right? People are scared to invest in themselves, start something up, spend the money because they're afraid that they're going to lose it, not make it back. But here's the thing. Something I learned. Money doesn't have value unless you spend it.
Yep.
Listen, money doesn't have value unless you spend it. Now, of course, that's if you're spending it on the right things. Again, your business, self-growth, education to learn, right? Resources that you need for your business. But money doesn't have value unless you spend. So if you're just holding on to money, guys, right, and you're just scared because you're going to lose it to start something you really want to do, then it doesn't have any value. There's no value. The money, your money is not backed up by anything. There's no value to it unless you spend it. All right, so your money sitting in that account is doing what, Brian?
Is depreciating. Inflation's eating your dollar.
Let's talk a little bit more about that.
And it's interesting because now with everything that's going on, everyone's seeing the inflation. Gas prices are up, food up. You go to a restaurant, and a lot of it has to do with, supply and demand. We've been on lockdown almost, a year and a half, 2 years with COVID. And, supply chains all across the world have been disrupted. So we're seeing some inflation, and people need to be aware of it. And I see that there's a big shift in the market. Since I'm in the real estate, a lot of people have been moving their money and dumping it into buying single-family homes, multi-families. Why is that? Well, interest rates are all-time low right now, and people are taking advantage of it. But what's going on? There's not that much inventory. So now you're seeing homes that typically wouldn't even be selling what they're selling for. They are going 30, 40% over their value. Yeah. And people are dropping cash.
And here's the thing. You mentioned now move your money, right? And this is one area of real estate that you can dump your money into. And people who are seeing the advantage are moving their money. But a lot of people during this crisis too are holding on to their money, right? And I'm not saying it's wrong right? There's times and places to hold your money to make moves. But a lot of people just sit on that cash, sit on that money, and don't do anything with it, right? And they don't realize that they're also hurting themselves. Or they just live on a mindset of save to get by, right? Save to just be able to be secure or an emergency. But here's the question for you guys. If you saved money for an emergency and that emergency comes, now you use that money, now what? You save for the emergency, but now what? You don't have any other savings and you're not making money. There's no machine for you. So now what? What are you going to do? You need to make money, right? You need to first make that money. So take that money that you saved and go invest it in yourself, in your business, or in a property, or in any. There's other multiple things you can invest it in, but invest in something that can make you money, right? That can make you money, whether it's now or in the long term, but that can make you money and bring you a return.
What is the biggest income generator in your life? Yourself. There you go. And a lot of people rather put their bets on stocks, Bitcoin, different other things instead of putting the bet on themselves. First. Because that's the other thing too, is most people like to do this as well, where they will grab their money. They don't know much about certain things, but they just hear their friends, oh, I'm making a lot of money here. Oh, I'm making a lot of money there. And you're clueless about that industry. You don't know much. Boom, they dump money in it, and then guess what? Oh, they lose it, or something happens. Guys, the best investment you can make is, like Brian said, is on yourself, right? You are your best investment, because now that you invest and you become the version of you, and you start learning what you're good at and what you like and what you're actually paying attention to, then you can go take that other money and invest it in that, because you have a good understanding about it, and you're in a good place because you invested in yourself. Oh, yeah. And people need to start investing in their own education when it comes to managing their money. Right now, there is no excuse why you don't have your money either in a brokerage account or why you're not learning the market. There's so much information out there that if you're not taking advantage of it, you're doing disservice to yourself, to your children, to your future children.
And now that let's say people are starting to make money, right? You invest in yourself, your business. Now you're making money. We mentioned real estate and some other, accounts and stuff like that you can move it. But what would you say are the key foundational places that you would suggest, right? Everybody has their own opinion, but that you would suggest that people should move their money, right? Because I think diversity is important, not just putting all your eggs in one basket. So on the diversified portfolio, what would you recommend for people to move their money into slowly? What different places?
Well, I'm not going to really do a recommendation. I'm just going to tell you what I do for myself personally. So what I do with my money basically is I put a percentage of it, roughly 20%, into stocks, different index funds that I purchase, and I do it all through Fidelity. I chose Fidelity because I specifically like that they can do fractional purchases. So all the money that I'm working, let's say I can't buy a full share of that Fidelity stock or that Fidelity index, I can still own a fraction of it. So every single dollar that I have in that account is going to work for me. And the way I see money is Benjamin Franklin, all these presidents on here, they are employees for Bryan Gorrita Enterprise, and they need to work just as hard as I'm working for myself.
Totally.
But that's mainly what I have my money in. I have my money sitting in that. I have my money sitting in other investment accounts. My advice is get yourself, if you are reluctant on investing, open up one of those simulation accounts, use fake money and learn it. That's how you're going to learn. Play with it. Understand it. Get your feet wet. That. Read.
How easy is it to open one of these accounts?
It'll take you a day. Not even a couple hours.
So no excuse.
Yeah, no excuse. And you do it, and it's gonna reinforce you to learn. I think a lot of people forget that everything here is about effort, and whatever you put out there, you're gonna receive. So you got to put in that effort and that energy, and you're gonna see those results. It's gonna all come back.
Totally. So now you're making money, you're moving money, right? And there's other places we mentioned. Real estate, you can move your money in real estate. You can move your money in other places, right? That's how you can spread out your portfolio and have different opportunities to be able to grow your money, right? So this is the part that we're going to growing your money. But I think it's more important. It's not just, it sounds easy. Make money, move money, grow your money. But how do you really grow your money? Now that you have it in these different places, how do you really make it grow? Like you invested in real estate, you invested in these different accounts. How do you make that money grow?
Time and compounding. That's basically what that is. Making that money and building that wealth is not rocket science. It's time and how long you have the money in the market. And depending on whenever you decide to pull that money out, that's going to be the gains that you have on that. So it could be a negative, it could be a positive. And remember too, when investing sounds very sexy, but there also is risk, right?
Oh yeah, like in anything in life.
Like in anything. The money you put in there, you have to understand that anything can happen in the market. The market's sensitive. So if something changes, if you really need that cash there, you're going to be in a tough situation because the market might go down. And then those 20, 30,000 you have in the account now become 10, you're at a deficit.
So what are some more conservative accounts? What are more riskier accounts? And how can you what is that best combination, right? In your opinion, for yourself, what is that best combination if you want to do for somebody who wants to, I want some conservative, some riskier ones, or for those that just want more conservative, or they're more of that riskier type. What are your go-tos?
The best book that I ever read was called The Elements of Investing. All right. And basically, the book breaks down the type of investor that you are. Are you a high risk investor? Are you more of a moderate? Or are you a very conservative investor? And I think that's the first question you need to ask yourself when you are getting into investing. You have to be comfortable with what returns you want to see.
100.
Some people aren't comfortable getting a 6% return. People want to get 20, especially now with what's going on with Bitcoin and all.
But with bigger returns requires bigger risks.
Exactly. And people need to understand that. So if you're comfortable with that, then you can stick with that philosophy. It's all about your threshold, what you can take. Some people can't. They rather just leave their money in.
Brian, what can you take, bro?
Man, I have my portfolio. I'm 100% growth. I'm very aggressive. And that's because of my age too. Mind you, I don't have a family and I'm not going to retire anytime soon. The money needs to grow competitively.
Yeah.
So I'm more of a not risk, but more of high growth.
So do you also recommend, depending on your current life status, you should adjust to those different things of being a moderate investor or a more aggressive one? Like, do you think that depending on where you're currently at, that should be modeling off where you invest your money?
100%. And I think people need to also align themselves with those if they're not sure. Because sometimes you have people who sit on inheritance of $100,000, $1 million that they get or more. And yeah, you can do it on yourself, but if you've never been involved within the financial space or managing your own money, you should maybe even look into getting with a financial advisor to help you, guide you. At least that will teach you. A lot of people think, I'm going to give the guy my money, he's going to do everything for me. If that's the mindset you have, you're in the wrong place.
Where do you recommend to get a good financial advisor?
It honestly depends. There's so many good brokerages out there. There's so many good advisors. I just say look it up. If you know anybody like family or friends, ask them.
How about your bank?
What
do you recommend? I hear ups and downs about that.
It really depends. You really want to build a business relationship. So understand, when you're working with a financial advisor, I say interview them. Same thing in real estate. When a homeowner wants to list their home, they'll interview a couple agents to see which one's going to give them the results that they want. And if they're in alignment, all right, you want to make sure that advisor is not there just to collect the money from you.
Makes sense. So what are some questions that you can have ready to tell an advisor to kind of be prepared and let the advisor know that I know what's up?
Oh, 100%. I'll tell them, what are your fees? What are you guys charging me? What's your fiduciary responsibility with me? What is the investment style that your firm has or that you yourself have? And what is the communication level that we're going to have? And those are just a few. There's more that we can get in depth with. But I think those are the main ones that you want to ask.
And for you, what would you say are some flags and some wins?
A big flag for me would be because some of these brokerages, once you get with them, they'll like to push their own products to get a commission off you. And it might not be.
So that's when you know that's like, hey, do they really care about me or do they want to sell me something, make money off?
Exactly. Like, look, a perfect example. If you get an index fund and you see the expense ratio, and the expense ratio essentially means how much the firm is charging to manage that portfolio. If you see it extremely high, and let's say it's just tracking the S&P 500, there's other funds out there. Fidelity has one that's zero fees, or maybe even not even 1%, nothing. It's probably 1.001 to manage that, which basically that just tracks the S&P 500. That's it. If you see a brokerage and they're telling you, hey, go into this fund, and they're charging you an arm and a leg to get into that, and all those fees just to do the same thing as others, as other products that are out there in the market, then do you really want to work with those guys?
Makes sense. Makes sense. I think also, like you said, and that's part of the building the relationship process too, where you can figure out some things. Is this for their best interest or your best interest?
And those are things you need to ask. Remember, a lot of people forget, you yourself, you're a business.
Yeah.
All right. Right now, if I start selling things, I'm considered a sole proprietor. Yeah. All right. I don't have to register LLC. I don't have to do any of that stuff. They consider you a sole proprietor. You're your own business.
Well, technically, you're born. You have a social security card. You have all this. You're in a way your own business.
Yeah, you're your own business. And if you're creating income for yourself, you're your own business. Yeah. So at the end of the day, you have to understand that. And those people that you're working with, they have to earn your business.
Yeah.
So you got to make them work for it.
I love that. And I think that it's very important for people to understand and listen to that clearly, because these are things that I didn't even know a lot of before, right? And I've learned along the way. I've learned, like, having Brian around as a good, good buddy of mine, telling me, teaching me, right? So it's important to put yourself around people who can teach you these things, so that way you're prepared and ready for any situation, right? Good or bad. So that we understand the importance of putting your money in the right places, right? So you can make it grow, right? And also making sure that you have a machine that makes you money, right? Your business, or whatever it is that's going to make you that money, so you can put it into these different places. If you don't have money coming in, then you're not going to be able to make this money grow.
Oh, no way. And in real estate, that's the interesting thing with real estate too, that besides buying stocks and creating those, think of your home like a bank. Some people, you shouldn't. Your primary home should not. You should not think of your home as a bank. All right, your primary home is sacred.
Yeah.
You do not ever play with, and this is my belief.
So you're more your investment home, is what you're talking
with the house money. Yes, it's
your business home,
your own business homes and all that. And there's a lot when you purchase properties. There's a lot of unique tricks and things that you can do to create and generate a lot of wealth through real estate. Now we're seeing it more than ever. People that worked with 3 years ago. They're cashing out over $100K in equity.
So what, I think I want to ask you a question here. For those who have bought a home for their sacred self, for themselves, let's say they have it for a few years, 10 years, something like that, 15 years, and they're like, man, I want to turn my home into a business. I want to get another home to live, but I want to turn the current one I've been living into a business. What are some things to look out for? What are some things you should do if you want to turn that into a business? And what are things you shouldn't do if you want to turn your current sacred home into a business home?
The first thing I'm going to say is and I get these conversations all the time. What are you willing to tolerate? And in the sense of your business, it's a lot of people get into the mindset of, I have my home, it's almost paid off, I want to rent it out. All right. Are you willing to become a landlord? Do you understand what being a landlord involves? And a lot of people think about it. Anyone who want to be a landlord prior to the COVID, when you had these moratoriums and you can't evict anyone out, a lot of them got screwed with this.
Yeah.
Because now you can't kick anybody out.
Yeah.
So now you have your mortgage that you're still paying, plus another mortgage. And you know what? Some people have been smart and they've been able to do a refinance, take some cash out and cover their expenses. But until when does that stop?
True.
When does it stop? So you got to ask yourself, do you want to be a landlord? All right. That's the first thing you want to ask yourself. And then what is your end goal that you're trying to achieve? Is this home something that you want to pass down to your family, or is it something that you want to sell and then buy a bigger home or move to a different location?
Gotcha.
Because people need to understand, buying property is very local. All right. In order for you to succeed in real estate, it's all about property management, right?
Which we've talked about before.
Very important. People underestimate that. Yes, you bought a home. You probably bought it maybe below market. Great deal. Off market. Fantastic. But if you're not managing that asset correctly, you are going to become an ass and you're going to lose it. You're going to lose your ass. That's what's going to happen. And understanding that. So it's about having great property management, all right, overseeing that. And also, too, making sure that you're willing to take on the challenges of becoming a landlord. And if you or yourself, if you can't have a hard conversation and kick a family out, I don't know. Maybe if you don't have
maybe it's not the right business
maybe
for
it's
you.
not the right business for you. And that is fine. That's fine. You can get a property manager to do it for you. Remember, property managers also charge fees.
Yeah.
So
everybody's making the money.
You got to run the numbers. Always run the numbers, see what makes sense. But that's like the first thing I would say. And then once you ask those hard questions, the easy one is, what other properties do you want to buy after that? And then what do you
have to live somewhere?
Because then you have
and again, maybe it might be, are you going to rent now? Or are you going to buy?
Are you going to rent? Exactly. Are you going to rent? You're going to buy? Right now, during this, what I'm currently having going on in my business, a lot of people who have lived in their homes for 20 years, they said, hey, my house is going for how much? I'm a collect. I bought my house for what, $130, and now I'm selling it for $650. Okay, I'm selling it right now, and that's what you're seeing. And
make the money.
Now what are they doing? They're moving it.
Ooh,
moving it.
And then what happens after?
Let's see if it grows.
Ooh.
A lot of people right now think that we're gonna go through a massive recession because of what's going on in the marketplace. I personally,
where's the but?
I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, we don't know, but
there are going to be opportunities. I feel people need to keep that money.
What do you specifically think about Miami, the market of Miami?
Miami is on,
especially with people saying the recession and this and that. But what do you think about Miami? Because I think, right, it also depends what city you're in, right?
100%.
The recession will impact more than others.
100%.
So what do you think about the Miami market?
Miami has grown into its own. I think the pandemic probably was the best thing that could have happened.
I agree.
To Miami, even though I think it's the worst. We could rewind everything. I wish the pandemic never happened. But in the sense of the transfer of wealth that's been going on here,
it was an opportunity for it to explode.
Crazy opportunity. A lot of the clients that I have from New York, from California, they're never going to go back to their states. They love the weather. They're buying homes here. They're cheaper.
Yeah.
But it's creating a very, very hard scenario for the current residents. Because now, your home went up in price. So did your property tax. So did everything else. So Miami's growing into its own. And I see where it's going to go in the future. We potentially could become a Silicon Valley here.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're seeing it.
You're seeing it. There's a lot of hedge funds coming down here.
And you have a what I say is there's a mayor here that really pushes for that as well.
Yeah, Mayor Schwartz. Yeah. He's out there promoting it, making us
inviting
the Bitcoin
Bring
capital.
it in. Look at now the American Airlines arena, the Miami Heat has now turned into what is it, a crypto?
I think it's called the FTX
FXT or something like that.
Yes, something like that. But they just renamed it.
They renamed it.
So they're recruiting aggressively to bring these funds and these firms over.
We're not even talking about other stuff, which is crazy.
And we're not even talking about it. So I think we've been the best kept secret here, and
for a long time,
for a very long time,
because it's been thriving for a while.
It's been thriving.
But it's really now hitting on another level.
No, now the cat's
it's
out of
everybody's
the bag
discovered,
right now.
realized.
Now it's a party here. Everyone has their yachts.
Yeah,
it's a party.
How do you say it in Spanish? Un bayou?
It's a bayou.
It's a bayou.
It's a party. Yeah,
it's a big time party.
Big time bayou here, man. A lot of people have been coming down here. So I think the residents that live here need to be aware that this change is here, and it's going to be here for a very long time. And how do you position yourself for that?
That's the word.
You got to position yourself, because now you know what's happening. You drive down US 1, you go on the turnpike, you see these things, these monstrosities that they're building. What are you doing to ride the wave or to elevate yourself?
Yes.
Because you could be if you stop, you're stagnant.
You
get
could
priced
miss
out.
opportunity.
Miss opportunities and be priced out of your own home, which is extremely messed up.
Yeah. So right now, for people who are making money and want to move their money, where do you suggest people to move their money specifically in the real estate market? Not just Miami, but in general. And I guess if you do want to mention Miami, we could talk a little bit about that. But where would you recommend people to move their money? What type of real estate would you recommend people to move their money into now? What do you say, more commercial, more residential? What types of residentials? What's your recommendation for people to move their money if they're looking to make and grow money?
Well, now I'm starting to see more of these syndications coming up. So there's a lot of people that I've been working with putting their money, collecting together, and going after these. So
basically building that fund.
Yes, a lot of people are building their own funds. And I'm not talking about sophisticated hedge fund managers. I'm talking about guys who are firefighters. They each put $50,000.
Basically raising capital.
They're raising capital, and they're going after multifamily. I think another asset class.
What types of multifamily?
Residential apartment buildings. Those multifamilies right now here in Miami, they get gobbled up extremely quick.
Like how big? Like you seeing more of like on the bigger end side, on the
any of them.
So everything.
Everything is moving.
What's best for grabs right now? What types?
The thing is that Miami's getting really expensive.
Okay.
If there's a deal here, you're gonna have to find that deal off market.
And once you find the deal, you got to jump on it.
Don't even think about it.
So you literally have to print out the contracts, everything ready next day.
You gotta have the contract already in your car when you go door knocking or start talking to people. That's how competitive this is.
That's crazy.
Miami is gonna continue to grow, and we're gonna see a transformation. And we're right now timestamp this, because we're gonna replay this 5-10 years from now, and you're gonna see this city is going through a monumental change. Huge. And we're never going to go back to what Miami was.
Mini New York.
Not even mini New York. It's going to roll into its own thing, Anthony. We're going to see.
Jeez.
This is going to be its own flavor here. And it's going to change forever.
And also, too, now you're talking about, possible, if they legalize gambling and all this other stuff. You can see casinos roll up in here. That's a whole other conversation right there.
Yeah, yeah. You don't think the Wynn Resorts, these guys are chomping to come in here and start building up massive casinos? The Bellagio, all these guys. I mean,
imagine what that's going to do for the Vegas market.
Where
do you want to be? You want to be in Vegas in the desert? Or do you want to be in Miami gambling?
Well, then I feel that Miami might not get to that because the residents here are so strong. I feel that
it's limited.
It's going to be limited, and definitely the community here is going to be very vocal.
Now, I will tell you, it might take away some of those East Coast people that go over there.
It's going to take away a lot of people, man. It's going to take away a lot of people. Think about it. You're bringing a whole industry of the gambling in here. A lot of people are not going to want that.
Well, they
type
already
of crowd.
Legalized online.
Online's fine.
DraftKings,
Yeah,
all that
online's
crap.
fine. But we're talking about bringing a whole crowd.
Oh, that's a whole different
a
monster.
different element here to Miami.
Yeah, which is good and bad.
Which is good, and it also has its bad.
Like in everything, pros and cons.
Pros and cons, and people need to measure and see how much are they willing to sacrifice of Miami, because Miami will change it the moment we start seeing these big moves, and they're happening. So it's about positioning yourself. The biggest thing is to position ourselves, everyone here.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see. There's a lot of interesting things coming up here in Miami. The real estate's gonna keep changing. Another asset class that I would look into is storages. Think about it. Everyone's moving down.
Yeah.
Everyone's moving around.
You know,
Where's the migration?
People with foreclosures, they're gonna have to find somewhere to put their stuff at.
So
Right.
and that's another asset class in itself that's growing pretty quick. So those are a few that I would say look into. We kind of make this part of the segment, a party about Miami, supporting Miami,
But you gotta know Miami. That's the thing. We gotta let people know.
yeah, we're the best kept secret in
on.
the South.
Come on.
Best kept secret.
Hey, we're not knocking off. There's some other places up there that are coming up too, but Miami's Miami.
Miami's Miami, and we'll see what happens. We're gonna keep looking. I know the market is
What
hot.
other parts beyond Miami, let's say other states or even Florida itself, what other places you think are interesting to start paying attention to?
There's a lot of investors going to Georgia.
Okay.
All right, there's a lot. So this is the issue that you have with Miami. Miami has the Everglades stopping the expansion. Okay, so now you're seeing everybody going from
Because a lot of part of Florida on that side on the bottom is swamp.
yeah. Now you have everyone going from east to west. Now they're going back to east, building up.
Yes.
Georgia, Texas. A lot of people are going over there. A lot of land.
I heard Nevada too.
Nevada too. You have
Arizona.
Boise, Idaho. So there's a lot of movement. It's more the people from
Montana,
California.
too.
Montana. A lot of people from California are moving out there to those areas. People from New York been going to North Carolina, South Carolina.
That's true. North Carolina too.
So there's a big migration, a shift right now going on.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
And now they say now they say North Carolina is going to be the next Miami. So that here. Nothing's
Never.
Miami.
Well, you know what? Who knows? If maybe
but
Miami,
we'll see.
global warming happens and, we sink. Who knows?
Oh my God.
Maybe Miami becomes a giant pool.
Maybe. Or maybe it becomes like a Venice. We just drive boats. To the
Yeah, maybe
buildings.
drive boats. I'll have a jet ski. I'm not driving a boat.
No?
The motorcycle of the ocean. That's what I'm
The motorcycle of the ocean.
Yeah, I'll be riding that thing around.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You just park it into your boat home dock.
All day I'll just tie it with a little rope there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as the water doesn't smell like crap.
No.
That's the only problem.
No. I've never been to Venice. I would love to see
I heard
that.
it's beautiful, but the water smells like crap. I've heard.
Really, man? Man, those pictures, they're nice. I mean, but you know what? You can't really. I can't even.
I hear it's beautiful, but I hear that they're going through their own problems with the levels and all that crap over there. But who knows? But man, I definitely think we talked about some great topics today. I think we definitely hit up a lot about making that money, moving that money, growing that money, different ways to do it, different accounts to be able to invest in, diversify your portfolio. Are you're more of a moderate or aggressive investor in these different accounts? Understand which one you are. And then when it comes to the real estate, understanding if turning your own sacred space into a business or keeping it a sacred space, or determining the two, how to be able to handle the two, what other investment properties you can invest to, what are good ones to get into now, where the market is shifted. Obviously, we talked about Miami as well and where that market is going. And I think it's really interesting, for people to just pay attention, like you're saying, pay attention and start preparing, getting that information, because you could miss an opportunity, or you can also fall yourself back as well and fall in a hole, and we don't want that for you. So prepare yourself, learn, educate, right? That's what we're here for, to do, is show you the possibilities, show you the trends, show you what people are talking about in these different markets.
Oh, yeah. And we're going to be talking about a lot of news, a lot of financial topics are going to come up.
Yes.
So it's very important that we discuss these things. Sudden interest rates go up, what's going on in the market. These are things that, we want to talk about with you guys and get your opinions, get your thoughts.
100%.
So I think this was a pretty good segment, very informative.
100%.
We dropped a lot of knowledge bombs on people right now.
Yeah.
I know we sound like Miami fanboys, but
Well, I know we're excited about this new segment that we're bringing on, Money Vault Fridays, but we want to hear from you guys, the fans. Do you love it? Are you going to enjoy it? We want to hear your feedback after you listen to this first episode of the Money Vault that we're going to drop every single Friday. Not just solo, but we're also going to bring on different guests as well that are experts in these different specific fields that can give us even more profound information, more in-depth information on how to better prepare yourself, how to be ready, how to make that money, how to move that money, how to grow that money in different fields. And so that way you're in the best position to win and to be ready to secure yourself and your future for yourself and your family. So, guys, if you got value out of this podcast segment, the Money Vault, I would love it for you guys to please subscribe, share, like, comment. Like I said, give us feedback, drop a rating, leave a review. Please share this with all your friends and families, because the more love you show to us, the more love we can show back to you. Until next time on the Money Vault Fridays Sweat It Out podcast.